Hello there, crackbook crackers and tweety tweets and YouTube people, where this will be uploaded in a bit. So anyway, welcome to not my YouTube channel, but welcome to my crackbook and me doing these lives for the intention that I know that I do them. Unfortunately, the people receiving this information don't necessarily understand my intentions behind why I use crackbook social media to persistently break my gag over the state kidnapping of Aaron and Faith, who are two of my children who were taken by Flintshire County Council on the 13th of December 2012. I was actually present on social media from I think it was just about May in 2010, and then I launched Challenge Britain out with Love Great Britain and everything else. Love Preston, Portsmouth, blah, 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 blah. Prior to obviously becoming gagged. So to those who don't know me, hello. To those that do, welcome back. To those who've been with me since 2010, fucking namaste. I can't believe you're still here with me. And I do know that there are many of you that are still here with me. People who were at my committal to prison, people who were with me. We're out of another 10 years. That's been and gone. It's in the past. But unfortunately, I'm starting 2020 with the preceding court case for the well, it's not even going to be a private prosecution. I am doing a full-blown prosecution for the kidnap of Aaron and Faith, taking District Judge Andrew Shaw, the social worker Carrie Larn. There's another social worker that was there, but she wasn't actually a problem in all of this, as I yet know. I haven't got the full SARS yet of all of the internal emails and everything like that. If I just quickly show you around. Actually, let me do something first. I wanted to do this for the opening. Are you ready, guys? Come on. Let's see who owns copyrights to this one. Fucking like EastEnders, this fucking shit, innit? So anyway, I'm not mad. I am mad as a fucking fish and a box of frogs. So anyway, I'm in the kitchen at the moment because I haven't actually got time to take any time off. It's been a really normal day today. I've actually been cleaning my son's flat. I need to be really careful now with Liam and Daniel because we haven't actually had the conversation about the public life that we made the decision to do as a family in 2010. And I think the boys were too young at the time to understand the consequences of mum having a business that meant that she would be the niche of the field within psychology, personal development and social care and all that sort of shit. And it meant that I would have articles and things and blah, 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 because I was an author and all this sort of stuff. But we talked, like we sat around the table like every Monday leading through university, because even when I decided to go to university, I sat down with the boys and I said, look, you know, if mum does this, this is where it's going to take us, this is what it's going to do, this is what our schedule's going to look like, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, when Aaron and Faith were taken, things were changed. Liam did a very public post. Daniel's just way too young. He was in the middle of his exams, taking his exams. In fact, he was just about to compete in the Nationals of Athletics, of which they completely fucking destroyed for him and destroyed his career that he was taking. And he's driving a tractor. He's at university. He's not gone to med school. He didn't go with his football and his athletics, and he just met his girlfriend, settled down and things. Daniel just wants to get left alone. He doesn't want anyone sending him friend requests, doesn't want anyone asking, talking about his mum. He doesn't even want to know the mum that I have become, per se, because he wants to hold on and remember the mum that I was when we were a family. So it was kind of weird today, but if I talk about my experiences today, then I would be discussing personal natures of Liam's life. What I will say, because you all know that when Liam was here, Universal Credits and Housing wouldn't allow for us to live together. They wouldn't allow to support us as a family. We weren't allowed to claim universal credits, even though Liam has an apprentice. So he is a student, but he's a mature student, and they wouldn't allow us to do that. So anyway, Liam took a room in what is a 4-bedroom flat, and he rented one room. There was no living room, so we had no functions of that. That was turned into a bedroom for a rental, and there was a kitchen, bathroom, and toilet. The balcony belonged to somebody else. So at the end of the day, just rented that room, went to work, come back, went to work, slept, went to work, slept. Anyway, he got completely left in the fucking lurch, and I'm fuming because I didn't know that over Christmas my son literally sat in that flat by himself, not knowing where he could go because everybody's just abandoned. He's then found out that he's been paying his rent to the person who rent the room with full bill and contract. Universal Credit's only giving him £60 towards it. So literally, as an apprentice, he's only on like £540 or something, and then it's £400 rent. So he's got like £140 to live on as a apprentice. So take away Liam, just talk about people who are doing apprentice, mature student. So anyway, I didn't realise that he'd fallen into such depression and sort of walked out from everything, didn't know what to do. In fact, it was his boss who I paid for him to go up and see his son and spend some time just in between Christmas and New Year. And then he came back and he was on his own for New Year as well. So anyway, he actually messaged me, and I've gone round and he come and cut the boy's hair on my hair, and I offered to help him get the shit sorted in the flat. I went in today, and it was lovely because it was normal in the fact that it was me and Liam in the kitchen and interacting and jigging around and pissing about to cheesy music. 2 little ones running around. Daniel is usually either at school or at clubs, blah, blah, blah. So it was normal in that sense. And we used to going into shitholes and fucking recleaning them because, as you know, we sort of like went from 4-bedroomed home to, after all of the collapse after Stephen, when he basically took a Provident loan out in my name and hadn't been paying bills, and I ended up with defaults all over my fucking credit score and fell out with private rental. So I then went to social housing, which meant I had to go to an interim property. We cleaned it, so we were used to that sort of stuff. So anyway, it was really lovely. So I can say that because I'm pissed off with that, because but at the end of the day, it was really lovely to go in as a mum and just do what mums do with an adult child, because I haven't been a mum to an adult child per se, because social came in and took Aaron and Faith when Liam was in college, stable in college. He'd go himself in college. We were in Southport. We'd managed to find a 2-year contract, and for a rental. Aaron and Faith were in a nursery. Daniel was still at high school and was still remaining with his dad while I moved to Southport. I'm in Southsea now, in Southport. And then all of a sudden I had social ringing me, blah, 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 and you're homeless and all you're this. I was in a fucking penthouse in fucking Ramada Hotel, for fuck's sake. You know, we had the suite in the fucking Ramada, for God's sake, you know, as if you can class that as like, you know, children fucking homeless. And then they were whinging because Faith was getting into bed with Liam, watching films and shit, and because I posted a picture of, you know, them chilling out and stuff, and it was like fucking ridiculous. So anyway, all that bullshit aside, I've got social services coming on Monday. Bam, bam, bam! I wish I had every fucking camera right. Well, anyway, Victoria, well done. For the first time ever in any social services meeting, for the first time ever, the father's name has been put at the front. For the first time ever, the children have not been referred to by my surname. But for the first time ever, the father has actually got some form of fucking significance on these fucking letters, because I whinge about it all the time and I really fucking argue with these services about this whole. Now, for those who don't understand social services or do know social services, what could happen is I could go to a thing called legal planning. So basically, I mean, they'll want to do a psychological report on me and it has to go to legal planning because they need the funding for it. If you don't understand why police come and go, hello there, just coming to check if you and the kids are okay. Everything okay, needs to check around. And you're sitting there going, boom. What the fuck's it come doing in my house? He's actually coming to the door to make sure that everything's safe for the social worker to knock on your door and say, hi, I'm an airy-fairy social worker, and your wish is my command. I know you're struggling right now, and things are not quite the way that you wish for them to be. However, my darling, I am your fairy godmother, and I have come to make your wishes come true. However, in today's society where children are having spoons shoved up their asses, people have got guns and weapons, social workers can't just turn up at somebody's door. Therefore, if they get a call, they then ring the police to say they're coming to them. They hide around the corner. I'm coming to take their kids, but I haven't got the confidence to fucking knock on the door and do it my fucking self. Sometimes they do come without the police. Sometimes they do feel that it is just alert. They haven't really got any issues. But sometimes when it's somebody like me, they're fucking comes to me, the bastards. Do you know how many wagons they bring to me? Oh, for Dean, it's worse. Seriously, they pulled him over yesterday. He got pulled over by MI5 and by the Special Force Police as soon as he got into London. Like, immediately, like, yeah, what you're here for? Because don't forget, like, if I post you a picture, you know who he runs with. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not XR. No, it's not Doodah. They mask up and go in. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, he got pulled up. So we're not mental, we're not crazy, we're not mad. Making a difference, yes, M-A-D, make a difference. What does mad mean anyway? There is a fine line between madness and genius. It's how you tread it. And I tread it very, very, very carefully. Sometimes I do fall off, but it's okay. You just get back on again. But yeah, it was a really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. But it was weird. Even I think me and Liam sort of forgot sometimes that it wasn't Aaron or Faith in the other room running around, because it was exactly the same age that Aaron and Faith were taken. And we had exactly the same experience of going in and emptying pots of food with mold and flies going absolutely everywhere, and like flies everywhere in the kitchen. Fucking mental. All from this pot of food that had been left, and they'd like abandoned stuff in the rooms, and Liam didn't want to go in the rooms, so the landlord only came around yesterday to have a look at the state that previous tenants left it in. She's gone back to Spain. So and of course, because he's only got access to his room, he didn't want to go into everybody's rooms, and the living room is not a living room, so he didn't have like a living room to go and put a Christmas tree up and stuff like that. And the kitchen, obviously he'd gone to work and come back and everything was just sort of left in the kitchen, so he just sort of shut the door and that was it, and stayed in his room and just spent Christmas in his room. Luckily he's got a really lovely telly from one that does live there, but just gone over to sort some stuff out in his country at the moment and coming back, so Liam's been able to borrow, like, so he's got some nice bits to make his room look thing. So, but it was lovely because he then come up earlier on and got some baccy from me, because I got some baccy off somebody else, and I was able to sort of like clear out some bits out of my cupboard that I don't really need for him to have and stuff. And yeah, it's nice. I mean, he's 23 and I'm 41, so it's an unusual sort of adult relationship anyway. And it's so difficult because Liam's going to talk about his own stuff in his own time. He's certainly not given up on Aaron and Faith, and neither has Daniel. Everything that they do is a plan and step closer to bring them home 7 years later, and we're still here. But you know, you've either got to have £150,000 to go and pay a team to go in, and it could cost you more, because even a finding of facts is £5,000. That's what killed Darren, by the way. That's what broke down Darren's heart. The fact that Darren was granted a finding of facts in the courts when he was denied contact with his son, when his ex made malicious and false statements against them in order to get legal aid for domestic violence. And you know what cunt, you know, she killed the man in the end. She destroyed him. She fucking, I watched that man. What a graphics designer, up to Darren, who designed our Red X for us. So anyway, I'm connecting back with all the big wigs and all of the people above the middle class. I'm not talking lords and stuff. I'm talking the riffraffs that didn't go to school and the self-made millionaires. Do you know what I mean? So I'm connecting up with them guys at the moment, and we're talking about a few things to bring down and bring in, and talking to different people about some stuff. And obviously, because I'm not this crazy woman running around going, oh, there's these people and my kids were taken by the state, and everyone going, yeah, what a diffusion of responsibility, she must be a cracking smackhead, or she's something that she's not telling us, or oh, did you read the thing on Bailey? Yeah, of course, you know, what a load of fucking bullshit. They did it on purpose because I'd broken my gag. And this comes from a fucking woman who's causing me shit, or did cause me shit, back in 2013 or 14 and 15. She's meant to be a fucking Mackenzie and work for fucking families bloody for justice, but the woman's caused me a fucking nightmare. And even my tooth, like, I have a false tooth at the front. I've had a false tooth since I was a kid, right? And she made this whole thing about that woman's got a drug problem because her teeth falling out. Because it was really funny. I did a speech on Down Street. If you can call it a speech, I just talk, but or just rant or whatever I do. Someone just sticks a mic in front of me. But she made this whole facade over not having EDS and whatever. So anyway, I have now come to the conclusion that the services are not very nice to people with hidden conditions. If you're not classed as vulnerable, and if you're just a normal Jack Jones on the road that maybe is a little bit tired that day, maybe got a couple of little kids that, you know, it's a bit difficult in the town centre to actually sit somewhere without your kids running out into a road. My kids are really good about it. You know, they've grown up in a city. I mean, I didn't grow up in a city, so I'm not used to sort of all this crap and shit that blah, I'm a country girl. I'm 100% a country girl. I am a trailblazing running. Do you want to see my trainers? My trainers are so fucking funny. I've actually put my trainers back on for the first time today. Not because I was going running, not because I was training, but because I was cleaning my son's flat. But my son said, are your shoes hungry, Mum? Look, I put my fucking trainers on this morning and I went down the road. I was like, what the fuck? Look. Hello. My name is Night Trainers, and I like to, yes, I think there is still a current court case going on, and we're not sure of the details on the fact of the trafficking and doodah of sweatshops and stuff within Night, but obviously they didn't do such a fucking good job, did they? But these trainers, seriously, I bought these trainers the very first day that I was going to kill the social worker and the fat cow in the fucking kitchen slop teaching healthy fucking thing, when I was talking about how I was going to cope with Mother's Day after they had ripped my 2 children from me. And I decided that rather than picking up the kitchen knife and absolutely stabbing everyone to fucking death, that it was probably better that I went and got some trainers and some running trousers, and every time I come out the front door, and because when I was at Save the Family, I was in a flat on a doodah, and if anyone actually has had a look at Plasbella and all of that, and I have put photographs up. I mean, unfortunately, I have lost my 2-3 accounts previously, so there's not stuff on there. But whether I was going to do the laundry, whether I wanted to go out, you know, I either had to stay in my flat, but then even then, I mean, I remember putting on what was it? I put on this is what I used to play, right? So if I played music or anything like that, I used to have to play. I had 6 police at the fucking door on one day. It's just in the day the Anonymous masks turned up in their reception, and I opened the box in there because I had to open the box because it was a box and show them. I had 9 police officers at me that day. Right, what was it called? It's called, oh, I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. We're going home. This was the song that I had for Faith. This was the song that kept me. And then I had that na 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 na, because it had 3 songs. I always tend to have 3 songs, but this was the song that I was playing. And then there's a bit on it where it's got a gun that goes off. So I ended up with the whole fucking force coming at me. And then since then, I've been on this fucking marker because of this. Let's see who's got copyrights, because I'll email them and tell them about it. You might know the song. This. because they heard this. Such a bad girl, aren't I? Must be the edited one. This. Shall I show you something while I'm doing it? I'm going to play it. I'll just play it because then they email me or take the song down. So for anybody who's not sure what's going on right now, if it gets edited out, not like a prat, I'm just getting the copyrights, direct action to these people, and then they email me back and I send them over an email. But do you want to see something? Just for fun. I might show you something. This is Faith's song. Obviously, I don't want my daughter's highlighting emotion, and this is about a man going to get his girlfriend, his wife. But this was my attitude after they took Aaron and Faith. So I decided that these trainers was better. And if people don't know, at the time I was a size 18. So anyway, guys, you're all going to join me on the 23rd and 24th and 25th for anyone can dance, set yourself free, prat around, just do whatever you want to do, whatever your fucking music is over the space of those 3 days. And we're going to do it for the awareness of sexual, physical and emotional healing. We're not going to focus on the traumas that they have caused, and we're going to dance it out. And it doesn't matter whether you're in your bathroom, it doesn't matter if you're in your living room, it doesn't matter if you want to close your curtains, it doesn't matter if you want to make it really dark. It doesn't even matter to a couple of people I know out there, couples who are a bit of nudists. If you want to close the curtains, close everything else, take your fucking clothes off and shake it around any way you like. But during those 3 days, I don't care if people do a dance-a-thon, dance in the fucking streets, flash mob people, get the red X's out, get the messages out. I don't care if you go and do graffiti. I'm not responsible for you. You are responsible for you. I am responsible for the consequences of my actions, which is the seeds that I plant and the things that I water and who I enable and who I empower, who I spend my time with and how I spend my time with somebody and how I gift my time or charge my time. But I know my outcome when I first decided to do this in 2010, and that was to get to the root of the problem of Great Britain and rip it out, which I think you'll find that Ricky Gervais actually fucking did the other day. Now, can you hear the guns in the background? And don't forget, I also had a non-molestation order put on me because I had a car hire and they told them that I had hired my car in the tensions. You can dance. I love it. So, to all our kiddies out there, you're going to enjoy it. Join us over the 23rd, 24th and 25th. And we're going to try and influence as many people all around the world, all around the country. Here it is. There you go. This is it. It's this bit. Oh, I've got the video on now. Now my stomach goes, wow. Makes me want to be sick. Everything that these bastards have done to my precious angel and my fucking handsome little boy. And I told him when I walked out of court, you've just turned Aaron into an Asbo and Faith into a whore. And I will be every step in front of and behind and around my children the whole fucking way. And you'll never get rid of me. And I stand by this true to this day. And I do. I dominate all of the EDS groups, things like that. Pokemon, I've got people in Pokemon, I've got people in fucking Minecraft, I've got people on the fucking feeds of Rihanna and all of these people. You know, I've got people in Wrexham, I've got people in the areas. Don't think I stand alone just because I stand alone in here. And sometimes my issues, my attachment labels and issues, my rejection issues, my fear of failure, my confidence issues, the depression that I deal with on the days that I realize that my life has changed so dramatically, and not in a positive, good way, but sometimes I have positive moments of just leg shaking. That's it. And if you can see it, I don't turn my laptop off or cut my internet out, but yeah, my legs go, you know, what was I meant to do? I didn't get a goodbye contact, by the way. I wasn't allowed one. The courts decided that I wouldn't use the 15 minutes given to me to tell my two beautiful children that I couldn't care for them and keep them safe. So they were going to live with a forever family who could keep them safe, because I refused to do this. And because I told them that I wouldn't be signing any adoption orders, and if any person gave me a pen to do so, I would put it in the back of their hand. And that they were taking my children as a kidnap. It was an abduction. It was against my will. There was no reason, no grounds, and even an ICPC complaint is upheld in civil insight behaviour or whatever, unlawful, unnecessary detainment, just as they did to Elijah out the front here when they assaulted me when I was pregnant. And on the 13th of December was the anniversary of the kidnap of Aaron and Faith. This is the December calendar that I haven't painted over there. On the 14th, which was the Saturday evening, I had 2 security with cameras at my door, pointing cameras at me and my children and into our hallway, because I'd moving Christmas boxes downstairs from putting the Christmas decorations up and preparing for Christmas, moving things down. Some of it was going in the skip, some of it was going in the car, some of it was coming back in the flat. So I was pulling all the hoovers out, like giving it a full blown hoover. And then on the 15th, I then had 2 police officers banging down my door, wanting to take my keys off of me because I refused to let them in the house at this particular point. I didn't say I was refusing. I said that I'd step in the hallway to discuss their reasons for being here before deciding and cornering me. And then 2 social workers come through the door after the police had been in for a while and talked to me. And then I think about 45 minutes later, one of the social workers and then another social worker walked in, and they'd had Dean out in the hallway talking to him. And all I kept really saying is, sorry, well, my focus on you, mate, is not on the kids, yeah. So anyway, and then on the 16th, I pulled in John Wright, who is the manager of this sort of place and is positioned over there. He was walking past, and I made sure he came in. 17th, my nan's birthday. One thing I will say is, on the morning of the evening of the 14th, Josie went into labour. On the 15th, Josie gave birth. I'm not saying it's connected, but it's a little bit funny. Or is the fact that Aaron and Faith were taken on the 13th of December, baby P was taken on the 13th of December, Steph's baby was taken on the 14th of December 10 years ago. I can give you a list of dates taken prior to Christmas. And then sometimes, obviously, the October drive comes in. So literally in October here in this country, it's November in America. And then I don't know what other months it is around. I think Australia is the same as us on in October. I think all Commonwealth are all October. So they basically drive for everybody, come and adopt these really poor, sad children that don't have families and need a forever family, who've been so bad and bruised and highly. In fact, they don't actually. Most of the children, they don't actually produce them like that. They actually, because they get them so young, they actually post to the adoption that these just want to be adopters, and we're going to get you really lovely children. So a lot on mine, it said that I was an entrepreneur and I was all of this, but I put my crib for my children, and I was putting my children for adoption. They were blonde hair, blue eyes, blah 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 blah. So anyway, I have been on the other side because, as you know, I've been and done the conferences and things like that. So anyway, I don't want to stay on for a full hour because I've really got to do my washing up and get ironing. Dean is here for the weekend. He was meant to be here today, but he knew that I was going to be rashed and faffed around. And also, he ended up saving a dog in a boat that went out the sea, and he's ended up meeting the owner and talking about sorting some boats out and stuff like that. So anyway, dear Miss Samuel and Miss Cotton, I'm writing to let you know that I've arranged a visit to your home address on Monday the 13th of January at 9 a.m. I am visiting to gather further information from yourself following the recent referral to Children's Social Care, which I know you are aware of following my previous visit when she turned up on Christmas Eve fucking morning. Bless her, she did bring gifts. And the statement that had been issued. Please make sure you are available for this visit. If you are unable to make it for any reason, please contact me on blah, blah, blah. She's already been told I currently don't have a phone, so she should actually have her email there. And this is the Children and Families Service, Children, Families and Education. The problem is I've come through an out of hours, so therefore out of hours do things differently. So then they got to go through these different systems. So many different facets to children's social care you couldn't believe, from CAMS to freaking hundreds. So anyway, I'm hoping I'm going to have a phone sorted, because if I don't, I can't video. But if you come into my living room with me, what my son's done is, this is currently broken screened, as you can see, but he's plugged it into the TV. The DVD has gone, as you can see. I can't get the thing closed. Where is it? Can't get the thing closed on the DVD. So it's been really difficult to work on the laptop, because when we're in the flat and it's raining and or we've got stuff to do in the flat, or I'm working or got some stuff to do, then obviously, the boys used to have this laptop. It was gifted for this one, and then the fucking screen broke on this, but it was due to run out anyway. I've got loads of hard drives I've got to gather everything on, and then if you come and look down here with me, I am literally preparing. So the red is all forced adoption exposed, the blue is all police child investigation, the black is all the stuff into the finance stuff, and this is all the stuff that I did that was the design for. So this was the roadmap of 2025 achieving disability. I always write enabled equality by 2000, yeah, whatever. And then obviously the Declaration of Human Rights, and then obviously the personal journey for the Get the Edge, and then this was all the stuff to do with what's his name? I can't see what you can see, it just looks dark to me. Donald Trump. So that was actually Sydney. So but as you can see, it's got I've not got any of my notes in there. And then what things were designed behind and sort of coaching, the packs that were put together, and then I've got all of the notes and all of the stuff for all my diaries, and then all my start the business stuff, which was the 5 year, it's 25, so basically the 5-year plan for the business. And then I've got the bundles for the kids case, phone and face case, and then I've got 3 bags, which is all individually done with what's my personal stuff and all the paperwork that I had from being self-employed, all my checkbooks, bank accounts, all that sort of stuff, calendars, diaries, and then I've got, if I stand up, I don't know if you can see, I've then got all the binders, medical notes, my foster care file, things like that. And then I've got a suitcase behind there that's got all the paperwork that's got to be put in. And then there's another suitcase there, which is all, I think that one down there is all the stuff up in Portsmouth. And then that stuff all there is all the extra stuff that I've had, and all of the bits that Bailey reports, all that stuff that I've gathered over the years that I've been in this. And literally, I need to get some oil because what I've done is I've taken the files out and I've cleaned them, and I've completely forgot they have oil on them, don't they? So that's why they won't go in properly. So I've just got to get some WD-40. I'm hoping to pay for this course. I need to make a tenner in the next sort of like 7 hours. It's only a tenner. It's down, I think it was 199, so got 8 hours left on it. And I wouldn't mind doing it because I want to do some art therapy stuff with some people to help them with their trauma, help them express themselves, actually, because one of the problems of going through such immense trauma is you go so in, like when I hit the wall and like that, it was like, I'm so glad that I have a psychology degree at that time. I'm so glad that I was a coach at that time. I'm so glad that I have had all of the therapies that I've had at that time, because I just don't know how people who haven't gone through the road that I've gone through, and there isn't many that have, many have after on, and some have come from similar paths, but the majority of the people haven't had that sort of experience, and I have no idea how the fuck they get off the floor. Like if I didn't have this little voice in my fucking head nagging at me that my mum used to constantly tell me that there was no such word as can't, and every time people say no to me, if I didn't have this nagging thing going on my head going, you're not interested in the no's, you know, you're only looking for the yeses, go find the yeses, then I don't know how I would have gone through each and every moment, even just to get to the little chapters after and each of them. And even coming here to Portsmouth and going through social care here in Portsmouth with Elijah in my belly, like seriously, I told the social worker straight, you come through my door, you go out with a bullet to your head. Psychological report says she meant it, you know. So I think the words was, it's not probably wise to test her. And they did have to then announce that if you do this, you do realise you go to prison and blah, 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 blah. And the police really didn't like me in the room. And I told them, no, sorry, I'm a mother. I'm here to protect my children. That's what I'm here to do. Father, here to protect children. Father, tell you the same. You attempt to come into that room, you go out and bullet your head. I'm not the one pulling the trigger, mate. Yeah. Father's here to protect the children, and that's how he protects his family. His attitude is, if you step to him in any way, shape or form, then he assumes it is a threat to kill, and he has legally allowed to use the force necessarily to protect his family. And if people are doing things like this, that if it wasn't for Dean being here the other day and calming down the situation, I would have been sectioned and my children would have been taken. Fact. 100% fact. I would have gone into complete fight and flight. You know, Dean's presence was alarming because I didn't understand why he was behind them, but I did know that I asked the police officer where the thing had come from, so I knew it wasn't anything to do with Dean. But yes, of course, I was a bit. He'd actually just gone outside and had a fag in the corridor. Do you know what I mean? Down the stairs. And I'm glad he did, because it was because of that he was able to see that there was a social worker hiding in the stairs, and there was a social worker right down at the bottom making their phone calls while the 2 police officers were at the door. And then once I stepped out, you know, I had the 2 officers immediately, you know, boom at me, stood you know, boom, in front of me. As I will tell everybody, do you ever remember, before I go, because I'm not going to stay much longer, do you ever remember the film Dirty Dancing? Hey, spaghetti ass. Yeah. This is my personal space. Yes. Remember at school, you stand with your feet together, stretch your hands out before you used to do PE. Look to the left, look to the right, make sure you weren't touching anybody's fingers. Swing your arm around, make sure you had enough space. Yes, it's called personal space. Yes, in stepping past this personal space, you are, what side is it on? You are trespassing. And when the social worker arrives, she will be not seen as a friend coming around for coffee. In fact, she's trained to not have a coffee in someone's house like mine. How many social workers get this with a little bit of drugs and poison from families? Of course they fucking do. So it's wise not to have somebody's crack smack, been burning some heroin on a spoon, decides to use the same spoon for the coffee. Look, don't be offended. I wouldn't take coffees in some person's house. In fact, actually, we were at the kitchen the other day, and one of the lads is, you know what, bless his cotton socks, and it was so sweet, and I actually let him go through the experience, but I actually took the apple off the kids before he realised that I wasn't allowing this to happen. And he'd actually wanted to, Shiloh had wanted an apple, and he'd peeled the apple and cut the apple for him. He'd like take it, said, do you want to do it? Because he was actually asking me, and the man was like wanting to, you know, help. And it was like, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I know you're an alcoholic, I know you're on strict, I don't know what drugs you take, but by the discolouring and I could probably assume. Then, yeah, oh my goodness, what's on your fingers, what's on your hands? My son's going to pick that apple up, put it in his mouth. I can't have this. Talking to the support worker about it, sort of saying, can you tell me if there is any drugs? She said, I can't confirm, don't know. So it was like, I wanted to turn around and actually stamp all over it and say, I'm sorry, but you can't actually touch my child's food. But I felt that he really needed to have that little bit of normalization. And I find my kids are quite a blessing. Not that the people who run them see it this way, but I find that some people struggle with it, and I know they do, especially people on the streets who've had the kids taken, but they find it easy to talk to me about it. And I think therefore I am. But I think, anyway, it's been an experience. I just can't wait to get to the next chapter, and I don't know, have a fucking garden and a little bit of peace and quiet and some normality and a place for people to be able to come and have a bit of respite, and talk to Liam tonight about a couple of his properties, a couple of the rooms being used for people that maybe need a little bit of help, so he can then claim benefits for them. And also, if he does it through sort of respite fostering, that he'll get an allowance for helping. So we've discussed him helping people coming out of foster care and doing some reuniting with their families, do you know what I mean? So he's game for it. Anyway, don't want to register as a business as yet because of taxation and things like that, and I'm just not in any form of functional order. If I go in that cupboard at the moment, I'll show you. If I mean, you know, this is just the accounts that I didn't submit before Aaron, just while it was all going on, and then obviously told you I had a hire car. Look, fucking bastards, Avis, yes, and they took it off me on the 17th of. Oh no, I got it on the 17th of the 9th, 2012. My kids weren't taken until December 2012, but they claimed that I'd hired the car intending to kidnap my children. But the date's clearly on it. It's this stuff that I can't wait. Once it all goes in, it's going to knock their whole case right out of the fucking water. And they're not. There isn't a leg to stand on any of it. They just haven't got a leg to stand on. There is no defence for their side. Do you know what I mean? Like, even this has got dates on, all wasn't submitted to court. So, and this is from Inland Revenue, and this is from 6 Sunningdale Drive, Buckshaw Village, Chorley. This was where I was living with all 4 of my children prior to all of this. This is before I lost everything and went self-employed. So on the 29th of May 2011, that was the date that I went self-employed, which was, so it went out in the media, and it said in the media I was being supported by a government thing to be self-employed to do what I was doing. And then the date that I actually transferred and come off of, and I went on to the 26 weeks where you're then officially bump. And then obviously 5th of April 2014, but I haven't had the chance to do all this stuff. And, you know, it's all stuff that once I put it in, it just runs. It just runs them way out the water. Like, even this, look, I mean, people can say what they fucking like, but I have the stuff that was never in court. This is my intensive startup support pre-start records. So, like, it's action by whom, when completed. So this is all from like the 21st of the 1st 2011, 28th of the 1st 2011, 21st of the 1st 2011, one way around, 17th of the 1st 2011, 31st of the 1st 2011, 30th of the 6th 2011. Determine dates for project meeting, course in Leyland 5 days, submission application to attend project, funding request forms, contact Coaching Academy Wiltshire for next course, March, lasting 3 months, send IPR copyright BF. That was when I was at my Hotmail address, ka.cotton@hotmail.co.uk, telephone call progress, follow up. You know, it's all here. All of the European Union action plan records are all here. What I've done, what I've attended. Kelly is attending functions this weekend when she enlists with Tony Robbins to view a key of success for the stage because of, I can't even read his writing, like I should have been a doctor. But that's the 27th of June 2011. And then you guys, by the way, when everything was going to the shits, this is proof, by the way, that my cousin Jamie is the one that gave me the Clio, and I took on, this is a default notice for him for the car, and he'd actually given me the car and I had to take over the finance because obviously he took the car home, blah, 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 blah. You know, I even have all of the things from the handwritten notes from really serious meetings. You know, I told you they made me homeless, so I went to fucking Pontins, mate. I've even got my signing cards, stuff like that. Look, the fucking idiots. Look, in my checkbook for Challenge Britain. You know, people think I'm fucking grandeur, mate, and it was done in Leyland branch, trading as Challenge Britain. Bolton to Shotton, March 2013. That was when I was going to see my advocate while I was in court. I mean, I've even got the receipts for, that was my juicer, £99. That juicer has a significance because of what it was to do with. I've even got the other checkbook here, which was for Protocol Challenge Britain. This is the... You know, they shut all these bank accounts down. I've even got my Blockbuster membership cards, bless me. They shut all this down after they took Aaron and Faith. You know, I've even got here, oh, that's a Presidential Leyland then. I've got my, you know, they lost me my phone and everything. I've got all of the evidence of when the paperwork come through, when it was, all my things. Even my passwords and everything, which was June 2011, and I've written my passwords and everything down for my infusion for Success Resources for my thing. It's, you know, it's all there. And then little quotes that I wrote for myself. You know what, bless, I actually have a check here that somebody actually sent me, and I never actually gifted it in. Somebody sent me a check. Layla Bryce, still got it, never took her money off of it. Receipts and stuff for things, it all proves it, it all gets put into order. Once it's all gone into that filing system into proper order, like they said, like little silly things, you know, like they said that Aaron and Faith had never had any education and they'd never been in any schooling or anything like that. Well, in this little bag here, oh, it's not this one, but in here, one of these bags, I've got all the receipts for their nursery and the childminder and everything. Do you know what I mean? Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Psalms 27. I don't want to go through all of this stuff, but you know, and here it is. You know, congratulations on deciding the Damsels in Success community. Blah 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 blah. Which proves the dates and times again of things that I was doing, where I was, what hotels I was staying in. You know, people think I'm full of shit. You know, there's all my passes and all my things for Radio One Big Weekend. You know, it's got my name and address on. Start. Shitloads of fucking business cards, and even in the darkest light dawn for upright, for the gracious and compassionate and righteous man. Psalms. Someone sent me a happy birthday card. You know, I've seriously, I mean, even this Club Costa Hotels, you know, hope you, just as simple as this, it's got the date on it here, 30th of 9th, 09. Hi Kelly, hope you had a good trip and enjoyed your holiday with Club Costa. It was great meeting you. Best wishes, Debbie. And it's like, it's just little silly things like this that discredit things, because it's got a fucking stamp and a date and a time and a picture of the fucking place. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I've got all my football fucking tickets that have got dates and times on them, and I'm so glad I kept things like this, because it's stuff like this that, look, there you go, it's me. Start up Britain code. Anthony Robbins. Rockefeller. Look at me there. I know it's silly, but once I put it all in order and it's all in date order and runs all the way through, and Liam said to me tonight that he's going to give me a key to his so I can go and sit in his, and when Dean's here with the boys, so I can just get everything right. I'll just take one file out and I just sit and put it all into the computer. Excel London security manager. The bastard that's the kicked off shit in Leyland. Cunt. No. CN News. Nice little, really posh, fucking expensive cards. In fact, Jerry, hello, Jerry, you connected the other day. Oh, here they are. Look, no fucking childcare, but you know, bills. So the moment I go, you know, I've got them all. I've got all the receipts. You know, even things like my tax card exemption cards and you know, it's just little silly things like this that once it's put in and it says exhibit so and so and so and so, that you know, exhibit that proves discredits this thing. I mean, I'm going criminal now. I'm not taking them civil. I'm going criminal. I'm actually going for legal status kidnapping. Oh, look, by the way, for people who saying, oh, she's only just getting into all this stuff, look, there's my receipt for Food Matters, yeah. And that was on the 28th of the 6th, 2012, and that was the Hungry for Change and Food Matters stuff that we were campaigning and putting everything out. And there's a date on the top. So, you know, people who just take little snapshots and go do. This is why I laugh so much, because look, there you go. Child minding. You know, I had to pay for all this myself, you know, so I didn't get the support from government once I went self-employed. I couldn't even get support as a person with a physical condition. You know, there's all my paperwork from Dan Bradbury. Yeah. You know, people can't say anything. I sit here with, you know, my map from the Olympics. I sit here with stuff that I just know that when they evicted me, you know, I've been carrying this shit around in fucking. People will know if you saw me in Manchester, you saw me in Bolton. I had all of this. I was carrying it around absolutely fucking everywhere. I mean, look, talk about calling me homeless. Look at that. That's for the Holiday Inn thing. You know, 249 quid. I'm paying for this myself. Government wasn't paying for it. I was paying for it myself. You know, my kids enjoyed the experience. They liked sitting in the green room, you know, with the in-betweeners and all that sort of shit while, you know, I was being interviewed and stuff. You know, they thought it was fun. You know, London's not new to me. That's 2003, Waterloo to Tower Pier. You know, London's certainly not new to me. It wasn't the first time I was going to London. I got my London Eye thing there as well. So that's, again, it shows that's the 23rd of February 2012. So that's even before Aaron and Faith were taken and we were on the London Eye. You know, it shows the lifestyle that my kids had and the image that they portrayed. And that's where I used to hang out in, it's called the Aloft in Victoria Docks. That's my little haunt hangout place when I'm working. If you were, you know, parking, fucking hotel passes, I've got them all. Well, I haven't actually necessarily. This is why I've got mental at Amber. Goes, you screenshot everything properly, because when it comes to this book, mate, I'm putting everything in it. Even these cunts that, you know, troll me and cause me issues, and I'm posting it all, mate. I'm letting everybody. I'm letting the public decide. You know. What date was this? Oh, that's the Wheel of Liverpool, that one, sorry. That's, the other one is London, the other one's Liverpool. So, you know, my kids were well travelled, you know. It's mental, absolutely mental. So anyway, what else was that one? Just reminded me. Oh, you know, this actually gallery in London, you know, I've got all of them. I've got everything. I've got everything.
I'm laughing out of the courts, and I think it's very sad that I have to send people. I actually think a couple of them probably commit suicide, to be honest, but it's just not my problem. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. Is to protect my family. My thing is to protect my family. Mine is to care for my family. Mine is to be a mother to all of my children, including the one that social care terminated from me. And you know, I used to spend Friday nights at Blockbuster with my kids, and you know, getting some ice cream and you know, some crap food and stuff, and enjoying getting the duvet out, and I'd get a bottle of wine and stuff, and you know, we'd cuddle up on a Friday night. The kids would do whatever we needed to do on a Saturday, be it that we were off on an adventure. We'd usually follow the brown sign somewhere and head up on one of them, depending what the weather was like. And it just annoys me because these cunts make like snapshots and stuff that just paint very different pictures. When somebody like me sitting in here talks about, you know, pitching Donald Trump and stuff like that, they just think you're fucking mental because they couldn't do it themselves. And it's not even about these people being any special, whether they're involved in the Epstein stuff, whether the Lord's positioned me for stuff, whether or not you really understand what I was doing and why I do what I do. I mean, I've got a 17th century Bible up there and a 12th century Bible and everything. I'm on a major mission, mate. Like major mission. You couldn't fathom what goes on in my head. You couldn't get if you were trying to think what I was thinking, you couldn't get there. You would just be there. I'm lucky with Dean that. I'm lucky that I can talk to Dean about crazy stuff and conspiracy stuff and government stuff and politics and religion and GM crops and all this sort of crap and stuff. There's not many people you can have all of these conversations with and stuff. But the thing is, people are, you know, people are now. I mean, it's quite funny actually because I'm watching all the XR people go, what the fuck? And I'm really having a go at them as well. I'm going, look, we were underneath you and you fucking trampled all over us, you fucking cunts. And now you're coming around now and you've caused me aggro and shit. Other campaigners caused me fucking strife because not everybody wanted to believe it. Some people have gone out. It's really hard to go out and say something that you haven't physically seen with your own eyes. I've been sexually abused. I've been raped. I've been through it. I know it goes on. I have witnessed, I have counselled people, I have done trauma therapy with people, I have gone through testimonies with people, and I've read testimonies, I've listened to people's stories, and you can't tell me that this stuff can carry on anymore. It's crazy to think it can carry on. People are talking about the rules. We're in 2012 now. People are talking about, you know, whoa, hang on a minute. People are realising now that actually we've been conned as a society. We've been conned. We've been misled in how we should be living and the way we should be living, and actually that's not the way we should be living. You can choose it if you want it, but you should know that you have the choice to not choose that way. And it isn't about going to prison if you don't pay a TV license, and it isn't about going to prison if you don't drop kids off at school, and it isn't necessarily about kidnapping and taking kids. It's just about too many people and too many cooks and not enough things, and nobody really knows what's going on, and the left hand's not talking to the right, and communication breakdown is crazy, and ego-driven wankers and greed and sins and sloth and whatever. So we have to sort our own shit out and look after our own families and be nice, as I said, to our neighbours. And as long as we do that, there shouldn't really be a problem. We should just sort of like get on with our own lives, live our own lives, pick up our own litter, sort our own stuff out. And people will do particular jobs, and we will all be okay with this exchange for money. What they've done with money is wrapped it around your fucking head to the point that even I'm wondering, how can I make £10 tonight? You know, I want to buy this course, you know, and I think it'd be really good and it's a great investment, so why not? So now I've got to find £10 in my account, and I've only got like 6 or 7, 5 hours to be able to do it. But I've got stuff down in storage and I can put it up on eBay and someone can buy it and blah 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 blah. So I've got to do all this stuff in time, and if it happens, and then I'll pay for it, blah blah blah. I'll see if I will, but I'm not desperate to do it. Do you know what I mean? If you really need something and you're desperate to do it, you'll do it. But then it's £40 for the MOT, then it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and now Dean's dabbling with boats, so you know I don't know what this is going to be, investments and costs and stuff now. So, but they've done that. And it's about us to break chains and realise they've done that and re-educate ourselves to being our true selves, really, and just getting on with it. But learning how to actually build a sustainable business, because we do need to trade and barter with each other. And I don't really understand why. Obviously, we're not going to have to kick Queen's head on it, but I don't really know. I don't want to be chipped, so I don't want to trade with chips. But you know, if I want someone to come and do my fucking ironing pile, which is still there, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying to somebody, look, there's 20 quid, you can have 20 quid. What? So she does some ironing and 20 quid might, what? I don't know, get her a takeaway, who knows. So yeah, so that's where I'm working on this year, and standing more and more and more on my firm to come back as the director of Step Up Britain. I don't know if I want to. I actually think it's funny, actually, because as I'm telling people to step up, the media is saying about who's stepping down. And I think actually what Harry's doing is very brave. He doesn't want to sit around the table with his paedophile fucking uncle. Do you know what I mean? Who would want to? And I think the Queen should just treat him like a grandson and just let him do what he needs to do. And we, the public, should just let him go and trailblaze. I'm actually going to message him and say, look, do you want to come and help us over on Step Up Britain in America? That'd be really cool. And FEA and all of that, and trafficking, and do you want to? Yeah, they won't want him to talk about stuff, and also they won't want the stuff to come out about whether or not he really is the son and all this sort of palaver and whatever. So, but anyway, this year's going to unfold whether we like it or not. Sometimes the storms are going to hit us, sometimes we're going to get down, sometimes it's going to feel hard, sometimes we're going to feel like we're never going to get another penny coming into our pockets ever again. Money may go, money might not go. Cards make change, banks make change, everything's changing. So what else can you do? We get a tin of peanut butter and stick a spoon in it, go off and eat it. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to fuck off, and I've ended up going over my hour. My time's just as important as yours. Thanks for being here for the hour. Thanks for letting me waffle. And it's more for you to really see how, you know, how to navigate through this system and get the right help. And also, you know, just look, there's a lot of parents out there. I found out today, and I'm really pissed off before I go, that one of the mums actually had her kids adopted. She didn't tell me. Everything was going well. She didn't have the balls to tell me. They turned up and took the kids. I'm really fucking pissed off and annoyed. So I'm going to go and eat my peanut butter, which is really cheap and probably got a load of shit in it. I haven't actually checked. Actually, it's not. 94% peanuts. I don't know where the peanuts come from though, what country, what's got cane sugar, sea salt, palm oil. Produced in Leeds. So anyway, guys, have an amazing weekend. I do believe it's Friday night. Is it Friday night? Oh, we're on 111. So I need to change course and change direction. And it's the 11th has sort of flashed up. So I need to have a think about something in my life right now and make a different decision maybe. Thanks to the angels and the lords for that little call for there. So I'm going to jump off and go and enjoy my weekend. So have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. But these bastards are starting off on the wrong foot with me, because it's actually written in my care plan that 9 o'clock meetings. No. Kelly has brain fog in the morning. They then said, how does she get into kids? Adult social care then says it's not a problem. Anyway, see you later. Oh, come on, Pearl.